Professional versus hobbyist. What makes the difference? In an industry as vast, personal and diverse as music, there is more to consider than a paycheck. Each industry contains support systems, networks, legal rules and protections. We have unions. But why? There are many advantages to being part of a union system, so it's important to make the most of each union that applies to you. With the TMA 149, or Toronto Musicians Association, there are several benefits for musicians.
First off, members have access to collectively bargained agreements applicable to many types of work. By functioning as a collective, individuals, let's say you and I, save time and money. We don't need to individually hire a lawyer or legal advisor every time we get a contract.
Second benefit is dispute resolution. There are some conversations and possibly disagreements that individuals don't want to be having with engagers. If something on an engagement isn't going well, for whatever reason, the union is there to have your back and work out the issue.
Third and close to home for many artists is they make sure union musicians are paid properly, on time, and at or above a minimum local rate. Following each gig, if there is additional usage or reasons you need further compensation, again, the union will chase that for you.
As musicians with multiple employers and engagers, financial planning and work-based investment systems like pensions can be really tricky to navigate. To serve this communal need, TMA provides a standard method across the music industry for each engager to pay into. These individual payments maintain the Musicians' Pension Fund of Canada.
There are many other programs happening with TMA, like P2 Visa Management, discounted insurances, benevolent funds, and even this session you're watching right now, MyMusic150 Plus, which is supported and co-created by the Toronto Musicians Association.
Is it easy to use a union contract? Could I do it myself?
Yes, you can set up your own TMA contracts. First thing is to download the PDF template from our website, and you'll probably want to call TMA with questions the first time. They have friendly staff ready to help you crunch numbers and details for every engagement, big or small. Once you're confident, take this to your engager to confirm terms, sign, and then file with TMA. It's as easy as that. If you're part of a group or a band, nominate one leader to do the contract and contact TMA.
One lesser-known thing about using a union contract is that live performances offered freely to the public can be reimbursed up to 30 to 50% through application to the Music Performance Trust Fund. More information, including the general tariff of fees, is available online for members at tma149.ca.
Let's chat about the Musicians' Rights Organization Canada. MROC, a not-for-profit organization that distributes neighboring rights and private copying royalties to musicians and vocalists.
What are neighboring rights?
Simply put, it is the copyright-protected rights for people to be paid for the use of a recording on certain platforms. These rights trigger payment for people who perform on the recording and the people who paid for the recording to be made.
Who receives neighboring rights royalties?
When a covered recording is played on a covered platform, such as commercial radio, it generates a neighboring rights royalty from the platform. 50% of the royalty goes to the performers, and 50% goes to the master owners. If you own the recording, maybe you paid for it, and were the only performer on the recording, then you are entitled to the full 100%.
There are different agencies responsible for the performer versus the master owner's royalties. Performers can use MROC, Artisti, Actual Recording Artists Collecting Society. You only need one. Master owners use Connect Music Licensing or SOPROC.
These royalties are collected from commercial, satellite and public radio, background music, use of recorded music to accompany live events or dance, and music streaming. MROC will collect royalties for you internationally, so you don't need to register it with multiple organizations across the globe.
Register your music. You can do it online through the MROC site, musiciansrights.ca.
Publishers next. They are part of your team. They can invest in you, help you build relationships to take your career to the next level, protect your music copyright, and collect copyright royalties. A publisher is for artists who write music and own the copyright of their music. Publishing deals vary. There ends up being a writer share and a publisher share. Industry standard is around 75-25 in favor of the artist. If there's a publisher asking for all the rights, run. If you're a songwriter, you need to be a member of SOCAN. Publishing companies like Pure Music work directly with them. The writer share and publisher share of your music should be registered with SOCAN.
From publishing to law, the Employment Standards Act does not clearly cover us as musicians. We don't have the same government protections that other employees do. This is where trade unions and musicians' associations and even a publisher can become very important. Whether you're a member of an association like the TMA and you work under a collective agreement, or you might be working on individualised contracts specific to a gig, you need to have a support system that isn't centred on your own bargaining power, but rather the backing of an organisation.
Although less likely or frequently, if you're part of a musicians association or union, at some point you may need to rely on some legal advice, and that will be a resource the union can provide.
If you hire your own lawyer, a good lawyer will take your cost concerns into account. You should make sure you understand the lawyer's billable rates though. One option, and a very helpful resource, is Artists' Legal Advice Services, who provide free summary legal advice to a wide variety of artists, including musicians. You just need to book an appointment.